All right, what's up, team? Coach Mateo here for Mara Strength. And today we're talking about the best foods to eat before your workout in order to build the most muscle, have the most energy, and have a successful session. All right, if you don't know me, you're new to the channel. My name is Mateo, and I help busy guys look and feel awesome shirtless by helping them master the skills of training for muscle growth and dieting for fat loss. So if you like this type of content and you want to learn more about that, feel free to hit subscribe, like the video, and follow along because I post stuff very regularly. All right, let's jump into it. The first thing to ask ourselves when we're considering what foods we really should be eating before a workout is, what do we want out of that? Really, like, how do we define best? All right, because ultimately it's pretty subjective, and really I think there's two main things that it comes down to, and that's performance and practicality. Let's talk about performance. When we go to the gym, we are there on a mission to stimulate muscle growth, to stimulate strength adaptations, and a host of other great health benefits. But really, those are kind of the two primary ones. So, in the performance side of things, if we can't push our sets very hard when we're in the gym, we can't train very hard, guess what? We're leaving a ton of progress on the table. You know what I mean? It's like, imagine you took a bunch of fucking muscle relaxants before you went to the gym every time. You'd be like, you know, dragging your ass through your workout, laying down on the bench, accidentally fall asleep. The janitor comes and wakes you up at like 1 a.m. and is like, hey, bro, like, I'm trying to clean here. Can you get the fuck off this bench? Right. And ultimately, your sets aren't going to build you a ton of muscle or get you a lot stronger because you're just not pushing very hard. So we want our nutrition to allow us to push a little bit harder in our sets. We want us to also have the energy to continue the workout till the end. You don't want to get 30 minutes into your workout and be like, fuck, I'm just drained, and just start dragging your feet and be totally wiped. So that's another thing to consider. And then, really, ultimately, the idea here is that nutrition, this is an idea I took from a guy named Eric Helms, who knows a whole hell of a lot more about nutrition training than I do. Nutrition is permissive. It allows us to make progress by stimulating adaptations in the gym. Okay, so eating protein, eating enough calories, eating the right amount of food isn't really enough to totally stimulate a bunch of muscle growth and get you stronger and build a bunch of muscle, right? It just allows that to happen. You can think of it as like the sunlight and the water that goes into a garden. Ultimately, yes, they are required to grow the plant. But at the end of the day, if you never plant that seed in the first place, there's no fucking plant, right? You're just watering some dirt. And people are walking by going, what the fuck's the matter with that guy? All right. So basically, as long as we can do the task of training to stimulate strength, gains, muscle growth, we're pretty much good. As long as we're not betraying our calories, right? And then practicality side of things, GI discomfort, meaning like, you know, unhappy stomach, is really something we want to think about here as well. It can happen during a workout and it can totally derail you. You can end up yakking in the toilet or just feeling like, oh my God, I'm so bloated and full, and kind of that Thanksgiving sensation that makes you want to just go lay down for a little bit. Something we also want to avoid. And then early sessions. Like, let's say you train at 5 a.m. because you work at 7. Well, either you're getting up at 4 to eat some oatmeal and something, or you're just getting up, you're going straight to the gym first thing in the morning training, which we'll talk about on the next slide. And same thing with after work sessions. Let's say you hit the gym on the way home from work. Okay, well, if you finish work at 5 and you had lunch at 12, it's been 5 hours since you had a meal on your way to the gym. Maybe you get there 20, 30 minutes later, you finish your warm up or whatever, and it's been close to 6 fucking hours since you ate. What are we going to do in that case? We'll talk a little bit more about that too. And then just honestly, simple, repeatable options are the ones that drive your progress because they drive adherence. And that's at the foundation of everything. So that's another thing when it comes to practicality. You can't be sitting down and like creating these elaborate meals that take forever to prepare, can't travel, those kind of things. All right. So moving on here. Things we really want to avoid when it comes to our pre-workout foods are things that slow digestion. Remember how we talked about the GI discomfort in that first slide? Imagine just being like so fucking full that you go into the gym and you start squatting and your stomach just pushes up against your thighs and you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna fucking yak. First rep, you have 45 more minutes of workout left or 60 minutes more of workout. Honestly, vomiting in the gym is frowned upon. Some crazy freaks like you and I might see this as a badge of honor, but Aunt Mildred, who's in the gym just on the elliptical, does not want to see what you have for lunch. So, what slows digestion? I like to think of it really as like the three F's: fiber, fats, and fullness. Mm, I just wanted to make that sound cool with the three F's. I'll describe it better, but basically, fiber, like what's found in a lot of vegetables and fruits, slows digestion. You can think of it as like roughage, basically, that ultimately slows things down, which makes it a really great option for if you want to lose fat and feel more full. But when it comes to right before the gym, you can imagine putting down like a huge amount of coleslaw, raw cabbage, and carrot. It just really slows things down. And the lower that gastric emptying is out of your stomach, the more discomfort you're probably going to experience, especially when you start exercising. Fats as well: peanut butter, olive oil, butter, coconut oil, you name it, they slow digestion. Again, a really great thing when we want to lose weight and feel full, but right before the gym, smashing a fuck ton of peanut butter or something like that, yeah, really does slow down the overall digestion process. And then again, just the huge meals, fullness, the total quantity of food also influences how quickly things get digested. So you may want to keep your meals on the smaller side. Okay. Other pitfalls and things that might derail you are just expecting that you're burning a shit ton of calories in the gym and you need an exorbitant amount of energy in order to fuel your sessions. That is probably not the case. So don't go smashing your gob full of cheese balls and trail mix and dates and you name it. You'll probably be able to get away with a lot less than you actually think. And then just going in empty for a lot of folks will leave them with lagging performance, maybe feeling lightheaded, or even, unwell. It might work for you. It might not. Moving on. Things to do. Okay. Practical things to do. At the very top of this list, these are the big ticket items. Carbs are really the primary source of fuel. So having some of some form in the meal before your workout is going to allow you to train harder. It's going to allow you to train for longer and ultimately get better results due to that performance, right? Another big ticket item is just eating like 1 to 4, maybe 5 hours before training at the latest, and really just scaling up or down your food based on how far from the workout you are. You want to be fed, not full. I mean, honestly, if I could sum this video up in one thing, it would be you want to be fed, not full. Closer to the workout means less fiber, less fats, less fullness. Further from the workout means more fiber available. More fullness is okay. More fats is okay, right? Because things will slowly digest and digest. All right. You can think of the difference between like, hey, if I were to sit down and smash like 3 apples or like a pound of watermelon versus like drink some juice. One of those is going to be quick to digest and get into my bloodstream and allow me to train harder. The other one is going to take a few hours to really go. And then if you want to fine tune things, you may want to hydrate with some water before your session, add maybe even a 1/4 teaspoon of salt if you're in a hot climate or an exceptionally sweaty human being, or you're training for longer than 60 minutes. Shifting fattier foods away from the workouts as well, like we just talked about, can help with digestion. I find that makes a big difference for me. Some folks do as well. I recommend you try it out for yourself and see how it goes. All right. And then everything else ultimately that applies in terms of your nutrition still applies here. You still got to stay within your calorie goals if you want to lose weight, or if you want to gain weight, you need to hit your calorie goals there too. Eating protein, obviously a really good idea. If you're going to the gym, you probably care a little bit about muscle. But that's for another video. Here are some practical examples for you of what this might look like. Let's say you train first thing in the morning at 5 a.m. You get out of bed, you go over to the bathroom, use the bathroom, you look at yourself in the mirror, you do your daily affirmations saying, I am a beautiful lotus flower floating on the river Ganges, and may the universe bring me wealth abundance, and love. All right. I know that's what I do at least. And then basically you go straight downstairs, you get your gym clothes. And then what you could do is just get like your shaker cup, put a cup of orange juice in there, 1 scoop of whey, screw that on, start shaking, get yourself into the car and drink that on the way to the gym. Some carbs, some protein, really easily digestible, no fiber, no fats. And yeah, basically your best case scenario there. Training 1 to 2 hours after your meal. Now you can start to add in more things, but still fruit and whey smoothie, super easy. Low fiber cereal with some skim milk, some Lucky Charms, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Rice Krispies, something like that with some skim milk. Again, think about it. Low fiber, highly digestible, low fats. Fruit and yogurt, same thing. Training 2 to 4 hours after a meal, especially closer to the 4 hour mark there, you can basically just eat a normal meal. Beef chili, turkey sandwich with some veggies and some cheese. Like any normal meal you can think of at the 4 hour mark, you're probably just going to be digested and you're going to have a great training session. As long as you don't like hammer yourself full of an absolute Thanksgiving feast, you're going to be great. Hopefully this helps you out. Again, my name is Coach Mateo. And if you like this video, consider pushing that thumbs up button and subscribing to the channel, because there is going to be 4 times weekly videos talking all about how to train for muscle growth, a diet for fat loss, and we'll also talk about some of the lifestyle things that you can do to improve your body composition, meaning how much muscle you have and how much fat you have. So yeah, go ahead and follow along for more. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next one.